Good morning. Welcome back to First Parish Unitarian Universalist in Medfield. We're so pleased to see you all here this morning. This congregation first gathered in 1651, and this historic meeting house was built in 1789 on the unceded ancestral lands of the Nipmuc. Welcome. Welcome to this place. Here we search for truth and understanding. Here we celebrate life and we contemplate its mysteries. Here we share healing and wholeness. So whoever you are, wherever you come from, whomever you love, we welcome you to this congregation. We gather together this morning, tenderly, like drops of dew on a leaf of grass, hopefully, like gathered raindrops in a cloud, gleefully, like water rushing in a stream to the sea, deeply, like groundwater pulled up from a well. We gather from every direction for another year of growth and depth, another year of companionship and hope, for another year of learning to love this world with all of our hearts. We gather like the water that joins us across all of creation, the water that connects us within and without, merging and flowing across the entire world. Friends, come let us worship together. Please rise in body or in spirit for our opening hymn, number 347 in your gray hymnal, Gather the Spirit. I invite you now to join me in a spirit of meditation and prayer. O Spirit of love, great mystery of the universe, let us calm our minds to be here fully present, here, now. Find a comfortable position in your seat, and I invite you to close your eyes. Take a deep breath and try to find the restorative power of air and water in the breath. We must breathe to live, but our bodies also need water to survive. Our bodies are more than half water. The air we breathe right now contains tiny droplets of water vapor. Can you feel them in your breath, flowing in and out of your body, like waves gently rolling in and out from the shore? Take a deep breath with me now. Notice your feet on the floor. Feel your connection to this meeting house and its old foundation grounded in the earth, connecting us to all the generations who have gathered here before us. Ancestors whose presence lingers in this sacred space. What dreams and visions do they pursue here? Now imagine these ancestors calling on us to create a new community, the start of this new year. What sort of a community will we create? As we breathe, may we feel the rhythm of our breath, the powerful waves crashing on the shores, turning and tumbling the largest boulders into the tiniest grains of sand. And as we breathe in, may we feel the restorative power of air and water nourishing the cells inside of our bodies, giving us the power to pursue our wildest dreams for our community and for our world. Let's hold all of this in our hearts as we enter into a time of silent meditation. Well, now I would invite forward Duncan Glover to introduce the offering.
Yes, I'm Duncan Glover again. I'm also a member of the Fund Drive Committee, the annual Fund Drive Committee, who will be introducing the offering on Sunday services from time to time. And I did want to mention Marshall Sugarman, who has been co-chair of this committee for I don't know how many years, at least 5, maybe 10, along with Mary Corthell. Marshall is stepping down, or should I say stepping up, to be a member of the executive board. We'll miss you, Marshall. You were always so effective running successful campaigns and always so eloquent and passionate when you speak to the congregation. And we also now have Don Rolfe, who will be stepping up as co-chair with Mary, and other members of the Fund Drive Committee are Fritz Fleischman and George Lester. So you'll see us up here from time to time. And now we'll take the offering. May it be gratefully received.
Well, friends, this morning we will once again hold our water ceremony. Just as so many Unitarian Universalists across the country hold theirs, coming together once again, old and young alike, beginning our worship year together by pouring water into a common bowl, by sharing our lives with one another. In this way, we teach our heritage and bring along traditions that are important to us. It has been our tradition to bring water that we've collected from special places that we visited over the summer, or from those places that nourish and sustain us throughout the year. The water we've brought in the past has come from faraway places, exotic places even. But we've also brought water from places as close as the pond down the road, or from our homes as well. This bringing of water from places that have touched our hearts, have lifted our spirits, or fed our souls, and then pouring it into a common bowl has been a way for us to symbolize all that we bring when we join together in religious community. We've been on different journeys. We've been walking on different paths. And yet, here we are together, yet again, bringing all of our special gifts. Everyone present today may participate, whether you are a first-time visitor or a long-time member. A pitcher of water is available on the table for those who have not brought water with them. And so let us act out our experience of connection and relationship, whoever we are, wherever we come from. Because in some profound way, we belong to one another. What affects one of us affects us all. Now I would invite you all to come forward to add your water to the common bowl and tell us a bit about where your water came from.
I'm David Stevenson. This is from our summer place on Skaneateles Lake in the Finger Lakes, and it's always kind of a challenge for us getting up there because it's a little hard to remember the route. Rebecca's family has only owned the place for 121 years.
Fritz Fleischmann and Katrin Fischer This water is from Germany, from Maine, and from our tap in Medfield.
David Russell. My family have been going to North Truro on the Bayside for 60-something years. And my wife and I got married on the beach in North Truro 21 years ago. So this represents water from Cape Cod Bay, a very special place for me and my family.
Glenn Debate. This water is from Upper Saranac Lake, where we have gone every summer from before the kids were born for a little vacation up there. And there's also a little bit of water from our new geothermal well system in our front yard that has allowed us to go completely carbon-free at our house.
Our water is from the mountains and lakes of eastern Pennsylvania and the Florida Atlantic coast.
This water represents my soul-soothing swimming holes at the Franklin YMCA and the Farm Pond in Sherburne and the beautiful ocean in Hull, Massachusetts and Falmouth.
Don Rolfe. This water is from Maine and from the Sierras. It's a south fork of the Bishop Creek. We were up backpacking in the Sierra Alpine areas for 5 days straight. We were above 11,000 feet. We camped at a pass just below 12,000 feet.
By we, he does not include me. It's the royal we. He and a friend.
This water is from Sebago Lake, Maine, where we were lucky enough to spend a week in an Airbnb. I say we, and that includes my mom, which anyone with kids knows that a grandparent is the most essential thing to pack on a vacation. So thanks to her. And thank you to Jeanette. And then we also, this is more symbolic, were able to go to my sleepaway camp reunion 2 weeks ago. And if you can't have a grandparent, having about 50 former camp counselors is a great substitute.
This is from my rain barrel, so actually this is water from everywhere I've been and everywhere I'm going to go.
This water's from Denver, Seattle, and Provincetown.
This water, this virtual water, is from, this is my husband Duncan, and my lake, Highland Lake, we have been blessed to wake up to every morning for the last 25 years.
And also some of it from our summer place in Brewster.
These are my friends Anna and Owen, who bring water from the Big Island and from Maui. Good job.
This water represents the love that Thea and I hold as we do service in our community.
And this water represents the water of the ocean down in South Kingstown, where my family and I gather every year.
Blessed be these waters gathered from far and near. Blessed be the hands that gathered these waters and poured them out. Blessed be the sharing of our lives and our stories that makes this community of faith a fount of living water for all who choose to come here. Blessed be those whose lives are touched by these waters, that their thirst may be quenched. Blessed be those lives are like flowing springs who bring refreshment to those who are parched. Blessed be this community of memory and of hope, which in its coming together and in its sharing of joys and sorrows, of struggles and triumphs, blesses all who come here and make these waters holy. Blessed be. The Gospel of John has a story about a well. It's an ancient well dug thousands of years ago. It's a well that you can still visit and drink from in the occupied West Bank village of Nablus. It's a big well, a really big well, 7.5 feet across and over 100 feet deep. Now, you may know that there are two kinds of water in a well like this. At the top, there is the rainwater that is caught and stored. But deep down is spring water, which seeps into the well from the bottom and from the sides. Long ago, this water deep within the well, the spring water, it was called the living water. Legend says that this well in the village of Nablus is Jacob's well, and that it was at this very well where Jesus met a Samaritan woman. Well, in those days, Jews like Jesus and Samaritans like the woman, they were enemies and were not to drink from the same jug. But Jesus surprised the woman by telling her that he was thirsty and asking if he could drink from some water from that jug. Jesus told the woman that although the water at the top of the well was tepid, stale, bitter perhaps, the water further down was fresh and clear. And then he went on to explain that those who drink from the water at the top of the well will continue to thirst. But if they drink from the living waters that gushes up from deep within, the water that he draws from, that their deepest thirst will be quenched. Now, I've been thinking about this deep down water and wondering how far down you have to go before you'll find the water that sustains life. Now, sometimes this living water can seem to be in short supply in our lives. Sometimes our wells seem to be filled with nothing but the polluted stuff at the top, that gunk floating on the surface that sucks the life right out of us. Sometimes our wells feel like they've been dried up because water hasn't been drawn from it on a regular basis. This is what can happen to us sometimes if we neglect to take care of ourselves, our physical bodies, our emotional lives, our spiritual lives, and our very souls. For it's the soul that holds our bodies and our minds together. You know, it's when we don't take care of our souls that life can feel empty, without meaning. This is when we might sense some kind of vague depression or become disillusioned with our careers or our marriages or our friends. It's when we dismiss the importance of caring for this which holds it all together, our souls, that we may start yearning for something or someone to fulfill our lives for us, something external, something out there, not realizing that we may be missing something right in here. The well of living water is still deep within you, even if you have forgotten to drink from it recently. It's possible to clear out the gunk so that you may drink of that deep down living water once again. You're going to have to take better care of yourself, which means that you have to carve out time for just that. You know, the great spiritual teachers say that when you don't have time to sit for an hour each day to meditate, and you must sit for 2 hours instead, that's when you need it even more. So find time to play tennis with a friend, or listen to your favorite music, or watch the birds and the chipmunks at the feeders, or take a long walk through the woods, or sit in quiet contemplation at the ocean's edge. You know, whatever it is that will help you to refocus on what is essential in your life and what is really important. Or it is deeply important to tap into that deep down water that is life-giving. That can be done here as well as we start a new year together. So we've gathered together once again into this community where life-giving water can be found. We have gathered, drawn together out of common need, each of us carrying our own collection of treasures and dreams. We have gathered together, seeking our own meanings, yearnings for life in all of its dimensions, as it challenges and expands, as it burdens, as it consoles and heals. We have gathered once more with profound questions, the kinds of questions that provoke us onto the path of action. We have gathered, friends, with hope, the kind of hope that pulses on even through uncertainty. We have gathered with tenderness, the kind of tenderness that can only be born from knowing both imperfection and earnest effort. We've gathered with openness, an openness that is wakeful to possibilities and equally discerning and gentle in judgments. We have gathered longing for a deep down freshness, for the living water that will truly quench our thirst. So may it be. Now I invite forward the First Parish Choir to lead us in singing Spirit of Life. Like the sun needing a place to shine, and the world needing to be so warmed, we need one another. Like the rain needing a place to fall, and the land needing to be quenched by moisture, we need one another. Like the ocean needing a shoreline, and the coast needing to be touched by the rhythm of the water, we need one another. We gather each week for this reason, to give and receive what we have and what we need for the healing of our world. We gather each week for this reason, to say to each other that like all that is living, we need one another. We give thanks for the blessings of this community of faith. We give thanks that once again, we are together. I will now extinguish our chalice. May its light and warmth stay in our hearts until we meet again. Here ends our worship. Let our service begin.